battlefield is in the mind.
Yeah, of course it is.
And the funniest thing, God fights the mind.
Yeah.
A lot of spiritual fight in the mind. They need to go to church and get clean in their mind by the blood of Jesus.
Yes.
The blood cleans the mind.
Yeah.
And that they don't know that.
No, they don't.
It's a shame.
But I'll tell you, you know what? I feel I accomplished something here.
Yeah, nice.
No, there's a gentleman in here. Remember I was telling you he was drinking like $250 a weekend? Well, he's got clear eyes today. He said that last week he started thinking about it. He's cutting down. He's still drinking.
Yeah.
But little babies walk,
Yes.
then they run.
How you doing?
So, hey, how you doing?
Little by little bit.
Yeah, but he looks better, so I feel like I accomplished something. Even one person is better than nothing, right?
That's right. Little by little bit.
That's right, yeah.
But the thing is, people don't know wisdom.
No, you're right.
They in trouble.
Yeah.
They big trouble. See, this is God's love.
Yeah, you're
That's God.
Yeah.
That's just the unconditional.
breaking bread. Yeah.
That's unconditional. He give you without you say nothing.
Yeah.
He loves you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can praise him, you can thank him, you can glorify him.
Yeah.
See?
Absolutely.
Shame.
Yeah.
You're lying.
I know. People, people are people. But you're a soldier in the war of spreading the news, and you just keep going.
Yeah, because they don't understand this is God.
Yeah. So.
It's God. You gotta give God thanks. God to glory.
Yes.
Not man, no people, no fast. God.
Yeah.
He let you breathe, let you talk, let you walk.
I know.
You're walking because he let you walk. You're not in the hospital because he let you. Him is in control of your life. But when your mind is not.
I know. I just yesterday. I was on Channel 11 yesterday. Yes. And matter of fact, I said yesterday was when you breathe right now, somewhere in the world there's somebody taking their last breath. Every time you blink, somebody's closing their eyes for the last time. So why not praise God every day for that? So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for bread. Thank you I can get a bread.
I know. Anything.
Anything God can give you, you gotta thank him. The mind is not.
Yeah. But you just keep pushing and pushing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
pushing.
I want to let them know the truth.
And I'm going to be here Thanksgiving.
All right.
All right? I'm going to try to walk around and see if I can catch some people.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you in a little bit. Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Can I give you one of these? I'm an addiction recovery coach. I help people that have drug and alcohol addictions, and for free I'll coach you. If you know anybody,
I sure will get it to them.
yeah, here's my business card. And because of the church here, I'm doing it for free. But if you know anybody that has any drug, or even if you know people that are overdosed or something, I'm on TV.
Okay.
So if you ever want to tell your story, I'm on Channel 11. I'm also on YouTube, 150 videos.
Okay.
You can tell your story. You don't have to give your name. You don't even have to go on camera.
Okay.
Okay? All right, thanks. Bye-bye. Well, as you guys heard, the pastor was talking, and it is all about giving to the people, helping people. That's what it really comes down to. So, folks, there's not many people out here on the road today, but I'm going to try my best to spread the news. Good morning. Can I give you one of these, please? I'm an addiction recovery coach. I'm trying to clean the neighborhood up with drugs and alcohol. And for free, that I'm trying to coach people on how to beat it, how to live with it. If you know anyone, I'm also on TV and on YouTube. We do videos. Anytime you have a story, if you know somebody and they possibly overdose, just call me. You don't have to give your name or your face. It's all just to try to help people, okay? Thanks. Hey, how you doing? Can I give you one of these? You drink alcohol or do drugs? No. If you know anybody, call. If you know anybody that drinks too much or does too much this, call me. For free, I help. And I can put you on a camera on TV and talk about it if you know people that drink too much or do too much alcohol, okay? But just call that number. It's help.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Well, the people are different here this morning. But let's see if we can catch some people at this end. Have a good day, guys. Beautiful, crispy day. Well, I see some people down there by the church. So let's see if we can talk to them. See what's going on. Oh, I'm banging against the phone here. It's a very cold day out today. Sunday, October 5th. I just heard yesterday, only 11 more Fridays till Christmas. Unbelievable. Hey, how you doing? Were you able to hand those things out for me? Remember the alcohol addiction and drug addiction?
Oh yes, I stopped. I dropped some off at USA gas station. Handy track. And
perfect. Thank you. Hopefully somebody read it. If you want a couple more, I'll give you one of my cards. Sure. It's all for free. And whoever has an addiction, they can end up on TV too. Because I'm on Channel 11 and 150.
I hate paparazzi.
Yeah, well, listen, you don't have to give your face or your name. It's just you can go on audio. But if you know anybody, okay? Thanks a lot.
No problem. Do you need me to give out more pamphlets?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I'm going to be going to my friend's house, so I can drop some more of the track again.
Okay, thank you so much.
Most addicts go there.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. Well, I'm going to shut you off now. Hey, how you doing? Can I just give you a flyer? Thank you. I'm trying to help clean up the streets with alcohol and drugs here, and I'm an addiction recovery coach. And what I'm trying to do is pro bono. It's try to help the neighborhood. If you know anybody who has any addictions whatsoever, I have a method to beat it without even having to go to AA. I'm on Channel 11. I'm also, we have 150 one-hour videos on YouTube. And I'm always looking for people that either want to talk about their own addictions or anything. You don't have to give your name or your face. You just kind of put a dummy picture up and you just talk about it if you're ever interested. Because your stories...
I have somebody who I'd like to
get the help, yeah.
My best friend's brother, and he roams these streets as a heroin addict.
Oh, well, definitely. One way to start, if he's too shy to even call me, is if you look down here, you see these two web pages?
Okay.
He can go on there, and all my videos are on there, and there are methods on there, and there are different doctors. These are all people that are willing to help for nothing. And especially, this used to be my stopping ground years ago. I used to drink 10 to 15 shots of vodka, and then I tried going to AA, and AA just didn't work for me. I need to be more actively involved. I'm not sure if you ever had to go to AA for me.
I've gone.
Yeah, and to me it was like you just sit in a circle, kind of. It's the same old, yeah, and you know what? It wasn't enough. I had to get more involved, and I got in contact with a few people. Next thing I knew, I got a director and a producer that contacted me, and we started creating videos on how to help people. That's where I am. So I figured by coming into my old neighborhood is the best place because I know where people are hiding and drinking because I used to do it. I lived on Pagoda, and from this liquor shop to Pagoda, I would drink 10 to 15 shots and just literally throw the bottles into the bushes and stuff because I really thought my wife or nobody would notice, but people know when you're drunk. Believe me, people know. So, but I'm not knocking AA, but my method really works, and it's for nothing. It's just, you know, this is how I help myself is by helping other people. It works. Karma, you know. So if you can, I'd appreciate it, okay?
Absolutely.
Nice meeting you, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Bye-bye. It was helpful. Very helpful. Hey guys, can I give you a pamphlet? A little flyer? Probably not so much for either one of you guys, but if you know anybody has any alcohol or drug problems, have them call me. I give out free help, trying to clean the streets up here. There's a lot of alcohol and a lot of drugs going on. This used to be my stomping ground. I live in the Hamptons now, but I used to drink like you wouldn't believe here. And I found a new method other than AA and how to help people. And that's pretty much just doing what I'm doing. Is if you go and talk to people about drugs and alcohol, people will listen because they see a real face and a real person behind it. AA is out of a book. You guys go to school, right? How much do you learn out of a book than you learn by doing constantly? And by going out, I'll give you one of my cards. And I'm doing this for free. So it's nothing to gain other than self-satisfaction for me to help people, okay? So spread the word for me, all right? Thanks, guys. Thank you, and have a great day. Well, they really do. They really do, especially for the younger people, because people like my age, we're already halfway over the hill. But it's you young people, so. But I appreciate you guys helping. Thanks. Bye-bye. You too. Can I give you one of these? Hi, I'm trying to help clean up the streets from drugs and alcohol in the neighborhood. I'm an addiction recovery coach. If you know anybody that has any issues, if you can just have them call me.
I don't like to call you. I can tell you now.
Okay. You don't have anybody, or you do?
Plenty.
Okay, well, here.
Keep it quiet.
No, I will.
No, I don't like call you.
Oh, you don't want to call me? Okay, all right.
I can tell you now.
Okay.
You walk the very street.
Oh, what street? Yeah. Wellwood? Okay. I'm a coach. I'm not here to get. I used to be an alcoholic. I'm here to try to help people. I'm not trying to hurt people.
No, it's not my son, but he's plenty people
Around there, yeah. Okay. Well, that
never goes like this, but now
I know it's terrible.
Sorry. I feel sorry.
Yeah.
They have only one son, and I don't want to tell
I know.
people the name. So
Okay. You don't want to keep this? Okay. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay. That's okay. Thank you. Here I go down this way. Thanks, Pat. Well, as you can tell, that last lady, she was a little nervous talking to me. Don't know why. Maybe she thought I was the cop. But hey, how you doing? Good. Can I give you one of these? I'm an addiction recovery coach. Anybody that has alcohol
I'm
or
going to
drugs?
take a post.
Oh, okay.
I haven't drank since January 17th.
Well, good for you. If you know anyone that you think has addiction issues, for free, I'm doing pro bono work here in Mastic Beach.
Okay.
Have them call me. I have a method how to beat addiction and live with it without even having to go to
I'm
AA.
going to take a post for January 17th.
This year?
Yeah.
And how long have you been clean now?
Since January 17th.
Wow. Do you miss it?
No.
No, but isn't it nice to wake up in the morning and not have those blackouts, the hangovers?
Yeah, I don't.
But
there ain't nothing I miss about it.
No, I could go into a liquor shop and I still like have those thoughts, but I know my other half of me, which is the God side of me, says no. But
Yeah, well, you know what? That's what you're always going to have.
Yeah, the
Because
cravings.
They weren't all bad times.
no, they weren't. Right.
So they weren't all bad
From what I
times.
remember.
It's just that I know if I was to have one,
That's
I'm
it.
back right up where
I used to do 15 shots of vodka a day from there to Pagoda.
And I did 32 shots in 2 hours. From that day.
Wow, you must have been just as bad as me, if not worse. Well, look, here's the good thing. You're walking, you're still alive.
Yeah,
Good for you. Thanks. Spread the word. Oh, that's your mom, Pat? My mom and your mom are good friends. Yep. Pat, there's your son. Okay. Let's see. That was Pat's son. You guys probably heard Pat many a times. Sorry about the noise, but we have a bus in the background. I am going to turn around. Let me see if I can. Morning, guys. Can I leave a couple of these here for your customers about addiction, how we can help with any drug or alcohol? Clean the streets up, all right? Thanks a lot. There he is. Huh? Yes. Listen, little bit is better than too much. You know, babies have to crawl before they can run. So you do a little bit, and then maybe eventually.
Little by little.
Yes.
One time you can do.
Maybe now it's only $100 a weekend instead of $200.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but at least you're doing better, and you look better. When I saw you that first time, your eyes were red. Today you look better. That's right. And you know that there's nothing wrong with drinking a little bit as long as you can control it. See, if I have a little bit, I have to drink everything. I have no control, so I don't drink nothing. But you might have control. That's okay then. That's right. So you enjoy yourself. And you're famous because remember I taped it and I put on audio. And people, they don't know your name, they don't know who you are, but people hear it and they learn from it. Enjoy. How you doing? How are you? Good. Yeah, I'm going to give you one of these.
Thank you.
I'm a recovery coach for addiction. I'm trying to clean the streets up for alcohol and drugs. If you know anybody, by all means, give me a call. It's all for free. Yeah, that's right. It's all for free, all right? Thanks. I'm going to get a soda. You want anything? Busy day today here. I've had like 6 interviews. Yeah, that was Pat's son. He used to do 22 shots in 2 hours. Yeah. At this bar, when that bar was on, 22 shots in 2 hours. That's how bad. He's been sober since January. And do you remember my friend that drinks $200 a weekend? Look at how clean he looks today. He said he's only drinking a little since he met me. Yeah, it's working. Have you seen an increase also in the neighborhood of drugs and alcohol? Because we're trying to clean it up. I've noticed it in the last couple of years. I used to be one of them. I used to walk from the liquor shop to my home before I moved on Pagoda and drink 15 shots of vodka a day. So I know. That's why I come back to the stomping ground. But we're trying to clean it up, but it's hard. People, you know, we've been there, right? We know until you're ready. So Pat, this is your son. Good for him. Yeah, you do look alike.
Yes.
And you're a couple years older than him. He's 54.
And when I look at him,
you're 1 year. I'm going to be 52 this month.
He looks like his dad.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, God.
That's good.
Oh, yes.
That's good.
Oh, yes.
I was telling him,
God bless
you and my mother are friends for many years.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same age, too. She's 75. You're...
I'm 74.
74.
I'll be 75 soon.
She'll be 75 this November 15th.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so
I gotta wait till March.
Well. You're a youngster still. My aunt who lives in our house in Pagoda, she's going to be 91. She's still living. 91.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, you know, since I changed myself with the alcohol, I think I'm going to be around a lot longer.
He don't drink no more.
I know, he was telling me.
Stop smoking.
Yeah, but you know what? Baby steps. Everything is, you know, because if you get rid of too much, that's how you fall back into it. You got to do a little bit at a time. Hi, how are you?
You know anybody's getting rid of a bike? He has to go to work tomorrow and he needs a bike.
Did you Getting rid of one? I did, and it's gone already.
Yeah, I went to Frankie Jacobs. She just sold 3 of them for $5.
Did you ask her, aren't you friends with the thrift shop guy?
I already asked him. Already.
Oh, okay. There he is! Hey!
Yes, Paul. My Paul is cold.
Yeah, I wish I had a bike for you. I really don't. Hey, how you doing, Cookie?
How you doing?
Good. Back on the streets? Yeah, I'm still doing my talking to people, so. Yeah. Since I saw you last time, I came up with a new fly. I'll give it to you. This one says it all.
Oh, nice.
You have a fork in the road, either addiction or recovery.
Very good. Wow.
I'm going to be leaving in about a half an hour. You want to speak to me in a couple minutes? All right, all right. Yeah, you're welcome. And you know, I got a lot of feedback on that audio because it went live. Not live, but I put it on with you and 6 other people. But a lot of people said they're real people with real stories, and nobody knows who. There's no face. There's no face. There's no address, no nothing. But it's your story that helps. So thank you so much. Where do you have to go?
I gotta go from Brentwood to Hopog.
Oh, wow.
So I can't buy something that's like real.
He doesn't have any bikes?
No.
None?
Well, I want a 10-speed. I want something that's fast.
Yeah, the bicycle store guy will be open tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be once tomorrow if I get a bike.
Wow. The only other place to look would be like Craigslist.
Yeah, that's what I should have did. That's what my boss did yesterday. Where is that?
I have my tablet here that has online. You can use it while I'm walking the streets. Do you want to look?
Yeah.
Let me go get it.
Got one.
You're welcome. Hold on one second. That's Pat's son. Okay, hold on. Yeah, let me get it. Go to shade, and I'll get it online for you. Settings. Go to Verizon. Hard to see here. Okay, let's try it again. Settings, and you go to data usage. We're going to turn it on, and I'll get you to Google, and then you know how to do the rest, right?
Yeah.
Google. They have a program that's free on there. People giving stuff away, and then, or you can just go directly and buy. But I would look at the free section first. Hold on, it's going to should be up in a second. Here we go. Let's see, free. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get a bike for free, but let's go to, hold on. Let's go to bikes. Bicycle. Take a look there. You know how to scroll up and down, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
God bless you.
good.
I hear you have like a program.
Well, I used to be an alcoholic. Okay. I still am, but now I've learned to live with it.
Okay.
But I used to go to AA, and I found it didn't work for me. So I came up with my own method, which is hands-on. If you go out and you witness, it's like being a pastor.
Okay.
You believe you nurture through God by helping others, and that's what my program is. In other words, I provide you videos, I provide methods on how to beat alcohol and drug addiction.
Okay.
But all it is mind over matter, and that's all it is. But
do you have a housing?
No.
Not right now.
No.
Let me get one of your.
Yeah, let me
I run into a lot of people.
If you go on either one of my websites,
okay,
you'll see everything that we're doing. Here's some help cards.
Okay.
They can call me. And for the pastor, I said, well, I'm here the next 10 weeks.
Okay.
For anyone that's related to the church or even people walking around, I'm going to do it at no charge for them.
Okay, then I do a program. Recovery in Christ meetings on Mondays.
Oh, okay.
4:30 here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, so
would you like me to come and speak one time?
Yeah, I would. I gotta go pick up somebody right now.
Yeah.
But I want to get back with you. I want to
Call
me.
Because I can also bring a video that we can put on your TV. They can all watch it.
Okay.
That'd be the
All
best.
right. Okay.
Check it out. Okay. I'm just gonna walk around. Okay. Hello. I don't know if I gave you one of these last week already. It's trying to clean up the streets with drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
I'm an addiction recovery coach at no charge. I'm trying to help people beat their addiction, work with it. It's an alternative to AA.
Okay.
Yeah, so give that to them, and I really appreciate it. And
Oh,
thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm on channel 11, and we have over 150 episodes already. We do interviews. You don't have to go on camera. You can just tell your story. So anytime you want, just call me. Thanks. Hi, how you doing? Can I give you a flyer, please?
Sure.
I'm an addiction recovery coach for no charge. I'm trying to clean up the streets here, help people with drug and alcohol addiction. So if you know anyone, including yourself, you get in contact with me. Thanks. How you doing with that? Any luck?
Where they are first, I just want to over into.
Okay, let me try to do something here for you. Let's see.
Hey, you know what? You get a bike? A 10-speed bike?
Oh,
Bike.
how about a mountain bike? Mountain bike will work.
Yeah, but mountain bikes take too much energy. I gotta go from Brentwood to fucking
There's no buses, huh?
Not that early.
I'm checking Craigslist for you, but...
Are you doing anything today?
I gotta go feed my dogs. I got my wash. I gotta cook up this oil tank.
Leo wanted you to come. He told me if I see anything. Because he wants you to do the job. Okay?
Oh!
Hold on.
What was that all about?
The white truck pulled out. Didn't even watch. Just
Wow.
pulled out. Sideswiped it.
So I told you, right?
You don't think a mountain bike will do it? No.
Too much work. I'll get to work and I'll be out of breath. Shot.
Yeah, that's what There's plenty of them, but they're expensive. That guy has nothing now. This is not going to help you. Oh, well.
I know when I got 3 buses to get back, so it's like I don't have time to.
Right.
I have to have it because I'm a CK coach. Like I told you, it's either get a bike today or you're unemployed.
Oh, wow. I'm trying to think of a bike around here. The bike store is closed over there. He always has cheap used bikes.
Oh,
Yeah, but he's closed. Unless you can get his phone number from somewhere, but... I wish I could...
that's all right. I'll just come back to Brentwood. I'll find something.
If I do know of anything, I'll let Pat know.
Somebody told me to go to a jump shot on 5th Avenue. But when the bus went by there, when it's Sunday, they were closed. And I know it was early, but I wasn't going to get off the bus.
Yeah.
And then wait and find out that they were closed and they had to kick because then I missed the thing. That would take another hour out of my time, so.
Exactly.
If I seen it open, I'd get off, but I didn't,
Right.
So I ended up here. I have my friends, I grew up here, Yeah, like I said, the one, he just sold 3 bikes for $5 each.
Oh, wow.
And it's funny, his wife works in Pilgrim State. She's like, I've been there 30 years, you didn't know I was there?
Well, let's hope you can find something.
I need it today.
I'll let Pat know if I see something. See that accident? Did I give you one of these already? Maybe last week? I'm an addiction recovery coach. Pro bono, every Sunday I come down here for an hour. Anyone that you know that might have addiction issues with drugs or alcohol, I'm trying to help clean the streets, they can call me. And I'll give them a couple hours free coaching. And we try to do it through Channel 11. And
maybe you should talk to my sister.
You who? Give her the phone number. There's a website. If she goes on there, she'll get a lot of educational tools that every day I do an hour show. Every day.
And she's been through Seafield, right? She's doing good. She's fucking up again.
What is she doing? Drugs?
Smoking correct.
And how is she afforded? Does she have ways? I mean, because one of my shows was
about boyfriend all the
I was
time.
just going to say, one of my shows was about stealing, just to
She
provide
takes her boyfriend's credit cards. She'll go to PC Riches, buy all this electronic shit, sell it to her drug dealers.
Were you a Marine?
Yeah.
Oh. Reminds me, because I used to wear that hat. I used to be a Marine. But,
My stepson's a Marine.
oh, good. But
My eldest son wants to go in.
let him. It's funny because one of my shows was just what you just said. People will do whatever it takes. They'll rob you blind.
Well, she robbed me the other night.
Did she? Try to get her to see.
Off my bed and I had money there, a couple of dollars.
It was gone.
It was gone. It's not the first time she's done it to me.
Yeah. But she needs help. She needs help. But you know what? You can sit there and lecture people all you want, unless they're willing to get the help. It's never gonna happen. I know. I used to be an alcoholic. People usually say that when they feel bad. When they feel bad, and then the next day they want their fill again. I used to go walk from that liquor shop to my house on Pagoda before we moved and do 15 shots just in the one walk. About there.
Well, down here, you got a lot of your druggies.
Yeah, I know. I figure since then my wife and I, we moved to the Hamptons, but I come down here every Sunday to try to help and clean up the streets. But I can only do what people allow me to do.
The thing is, if they don't want help,
That's right. But let her know to look at my website and stuff and call me, okay? Thanks. Hey guys, can I give you one of these? I'm an addiction recovery coach, people doing drugs and alcohol.
I got 15 years old.
Oh, good for you. Through AA? Through
I
AA?
went through Phoenix House.
Oh, good for you. Well, if you know anyone, let me know. I do interviews for Channel 11, and it's all for free. I don't charge anybody to try to help them. It's an alternative to AA, and it's really all comes down to just having a right action plan on how to do your addiction and live in sobriety. But I appreciate it. If you have any stories, call me. You don't have to go on camera. What we'll do is just do an audio, and you'll be on TV then, just with your story. Because your story means something to someone out there.
October 13th is 15 years.
Good for you.
Only 20.
Good for you. Keep it going like that, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Wow, 15 years sober. Imagine that. That is really unbelievable, actually, when you think about it, folks. Can you imagine 15 years, and here he is on the church line getting bread? It's all what it is. Well, it looks like it's pretty much coming to the end because the people are going into the church now. But I'm sure we got some real stories from real people today. And those stories are the stories that count. I can sit in front of a camera and talk all I want, folks. But the stories is what counts. So I'm going to head back, and we're going to call it a day today. But know this, folks. Every Sunday, Mastic Beach, Neighborhood Road, between 11 and 12, I will be out here walking the streets that I used to utilize as my drinking grounds to provide people with the help that they so desperately need. Maybe they don't want, but they need. And of those people, if they could just open their hearts and open their mind, I will be here to help them. I'll be here next Sunday again. Mastic Beach, New York, Neighborhood Road. And I will continue testifying that there is life without alcohol. There is life without drugs. And if you include your God, there's life with you without the drugs and alcohol. There's a perfect life for you. And you'll see many things happen. Anyway, let's cut this off then.
Good morning, my name is Ralf Friedrichs and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today we're going to talk about addiction and low self-esteem, how they really can work together and not in your favor. But as usual, what I'd like to do is give a shout out to Dr. Luis Gonzalez at Starting Point. That's StartingPointMN.com. StartingPoint.com is Dr. Luis Gonzalez's business that has two entities. Entity number one is kind of like what I do, which is a addiction recovery coach. What we do is we walk with you from your addiction to your recovery. We walk with you 24 hours at a time, day by day. We never ever talk about your past. We work on today and tomorrow. On the other side of his business, what he does is he can turn you, that's right, you, into an addiction recovery coach with his educational program. If you possess personality, passion, and professionalism, and you have some sort of addiction background, whether it being your own addiction or an addiction that you've been fighting with someone else. You could possibly be a sponsor, you could have done some work at church, whichever it might be. If you possess those three and the addiction background, maybe you're fighting your own addiction, why don't you call 844-414-8444, Dr. Luis Gonzalez. He has the Starting Point and its educational program. I also want to give a shout out to Pam Hemphill. She's on YouTube with her show. It's called Time to Heal, which focuses on recovery, and she's also on Facebook, also under Time to Heal. She has Channel 11 on Boise, Idaho. She has approximately 87,000 viewers daily, and her videos can all be seen on my website, one of my websites, which is www.clearviews.info. That's CLEARVIEWS.info. If you just go to my website, just click on the More tab and you will see Time to Heal. Watch her videos there. Go to Facebook and watch them, or go to YouTube. Again, Time to Heal, host Pam Hemphill, HEMPHILL. And of course, always a shout out to me. I just spoke about clearviews.info. Clearviews.info concentrates strictly and basically on addiction and recovery. You can find all the tools you need to beat and work with your addiction daily. You will find over 148 videos of my own that I performed, whether or not being daily, because usually I do 6 videos a week and then one Throwback Thursday video. But you can see all of them. They all average approximately an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. Enjoy them, because every subject, every issue, you can find on those videos. And if you don't find something that I have not yet done during one of my shows, text me at 631-599-0218 and let me know what you'd like for me to talk about. I will make sure it does get on the air. We also have my other website, which is kind of like what Dr. Luis Gonzalez does. Go to www.clearreform.com. That's CLEARREFORM.com. What Clear Reform is my addiction recovery coaching business. What I do there is I walk with you 24 hours at a time. I, like Dr. Gonzalez, will not talk about your past. Him and I, we are not counselors and we are not therapists. What we are addiction recovery coaches and life coaches. We will help you fight your addiction. We will help you get a well-balanced life during your addiction and therefore going on. It is there at clearreform.com that you can get the help you need to take your life back. Addiction and low esteem. What I got this information from was the CDC, and there's a lot of reading involved. As usual, you can tell when I'm reading because you'll get those extra little laughs in when I can't pronounce a word, but I try my best each and every time. You can also tell when I talk from the heart, because that's when I get more compassionate about what I speak about. Not that I'm not compassionate about this, but reading is always different than coming from your heart. Substance abuse offers a temporary escape from low esteem, but it is not the answer. The way that people with themselves view themselves will have an impact on how they experience their life. Those who have low self-esteem struggle to find success and happiness, mostly because they do not feel themselves worthy of enjoying such things. Their lack of self-worth will affect every area of their life, especially their relationships with others. You know, I think all of us in life have had an issue with low self-esteem. It could be because you've hit the worst times of your life. I'll tell you, June 22nd, 2013, I did have very low self-esteem because I finally hit rock bottom, but it was the best thing, the best day that could have happened in my life, because it was the rock bottom and that low self-esteem that made me reach up to God and ask for guidance and direction. So let me just fix this a little. There we go, so you can get part of my collar in there. There we go, that's a little better, folks. What is self-esteem? How is that defined? Self-esteem is a term used psychologically to describe how humans look at themselves, or overall how they judge themselves in relation to self-worth. It can be described as confident satisfaction that an individual has with their own life. The terms self-esteem and self-worth tend to be used interchangeable, although feelings of self-esteem tend to be more fluid than self-worth. It really comes down to how you judge yourself. The causes of self-esteem. These are some of the most common causes for self-esteem. If people have suffered from any type of child abuse, any type, physical, sexual, then this can severely affect the way they view themselves. Children lack the knowledge and insight to understand the situation, and so they end up blaming themselves for the abuse. It's a shame, but that's really what it happens. The children blame themselves because they were either violently, physically, or sexually abused. If parents fail to make their child feel valued and important, because that goes back to when we talk about role model and how you need to show compassion, you need to show passion towards your children, then this can later lead to poor self-esteem. Often it is not what the parents have said that is the problem, but it's what they have not said. The I love yous, the good job, well done. Those are the things that the children are missing today. Receiving too much criticism when growing up can leave behind mental scars. People who always being told that they are a failure, they start believing it. Folks, if your kids are doing great, you need to praise them. And when they're doing bad, don't judge too quick. Remember, they are children and they are learning, so this is all a process for them. So please, you have to have some sort of patience. The way people are treated by their peers is also important for self-esteem. One of the most compelling functions of peer group is feedback on behavior. Being the victim of racism or prejudice will usually change the way people view themselves. The racism, I mean, hopefully that issue is way behind us, but unfortunately, this is not a perfect world. You still have the Archie Bunkers that are out there, and shame on those Archie Bunker types. This is a whole new world with a new society. We have an Afro-American president of the United States. We have come such a long way that even the racial issue should stop, and it should stop today. Those individuals who have issues around physical appearance can easily develop feelings of low self-esteem. In a modern world, there is too much emphasis placed on physical beauty, and this particularly goes to people that have the weight issues. Folks, you need to either not worry about your weight. I mean, there's a reason that you do need to worry about your weight, and that would be for health reasons. But who cares what other people really think about what you look like? You were created by God to be special just the way you are. However, it is always a good idea to keep in some sort of good shape. It's a good idea to mentally be fit and physically be fit. When people feel that they do not really fit in anywhere, it will change the way they view themselves. The lack of connectiveness with other people is common among people who are dealing with self-esteem issues. The effects of self-esteem. Boy, say that 10 times quick. Those who are dealing with low self-esteem may experience many of the following problems. Failure to value one leads to failure to take care of oneself. The person may not see the point of putting much effort into their bodies and their minds. This means that they will be far more likely to suffer from poor physical and mental health. And we just spoke about it. You need to be fit mentally and physically, some sort of way. Not believing in oneself will limit one's potential. Remember the analogy of my power of prayer. If your body was a bottle and the inside of your body was full of darkness, which is, let's say, Coke in a bottle, and prayer was clear running water, and I put that clear running water on top of you being the bottle, unless you lift the cap of that bottle, and the cap indicates the capabilities that you have, in other words, your potential, unless you lift that cap, that clear water of prayer cannot get into the dark Coke that's inside. But the minute you lift the cap, the clear water goes into the dark bottle, and eventually the dark liquid will become clear. It's the cap indicates your capabilities, your limitations. So that's what this is more or less telling you. Not believing oneself will limit one's potential. A person may not be willing to put in these necessary efforts to achieve their dreams because they do not believe it will bring any results. Such people may be convinced that it is unnecessary to even try. Individuals with low self-esteem are more likely to turn to alcohol and drugs as means of escaping their problems, and that's true. So low self-esteem is one of the biggest stressors that there is. People with low self-esteem often end up in abusive relationships, especially if they were abused themselves, because they feel right at home again. When people do not value themselves highly, they are more likely to bow to peer pressure. Many individuals who end up in a dangerous cult suffer from low self-esteem. It can be hard for such individuals to trust other people. They may believe that anyone who is trying to help them has a hidden agenda. These individuals will be highly insecure in relationships. If they do not value themselves, then they will find it very hard to believe that other people can value them. These are all indicators. These are all reasons. These are all things that possibly will turn this or these people with low self-esteem to going to alcohol and drugs. The symptoms of low self-esteem. When people suffer from low self-esteem, it will usually be obvious in the way that they behave. These are some of the symptoms of low self-esteem. I keep saying that backwards. Such individuals live in fear of change and uncertainty. They become creatures of habit. They just are so comfortable in their own environment. They will tend to assume that other people think badly of them. People with low self-esteem tend to see everything in black and white. Things are just either right or wrong. There is no in between. Such individuals are also always putting themselves down. A bit humorous self-appreciation can be charming, but some people never have anything good to say about themselves. And that's sad. Because when you look in the mirror, what do you see? I see me, a reformed, transformed person from what I used to be. I used to always be a good person, but alcoholism kept me back. Alcoholism made me say things and do things that at a norm I would never have done. So I see a different me. What do you see? When people have low self-esteem, they tend to always be suspicious of other people's motives. High expectations of other people, followed by disappointment when these individuals seem to let them down. Low self-esteem leads to jealousy in relationships. High expectations of other people will always surely seem like when they don't come through that the other person or the person with the low self-esteem was let down. People in this category may achieve something but will not feel satisfied. They find it hard to deal with compliments and will doubt the sincerity of those who offer the compliments. It's a matter of trust. It's a matter of they've just been let down so many times. They find it hard to deal with compliments. I mean, that's sad, because when somebody compliments you, that is such a lift. These individuals will often also be too needy, and this can put too much pressure on their relationship. They will also tend to choose partners who are unsuitable. It's bad judgment. Addiction and low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is one of the characteristics of an addictive personality. When people first begin using drugs and alcohol, it will increase their self-confidence. Of course, you get, what do they call, the Superman muscles. They become less concerned with what other people think of them. The individual begins to rely on these substances in order to cope with life in itself. Addiction means that the person's life begins to fall apart as the self-esteem hits an all-time low. In AA, they describe the situation as alcohol gave me wings, but then it took away the sky. Lack of self-worth can keep people trapped in addiction. The drug and alcohol is just a temporary escape of what really exists within you if you have low self-esteem. There are so many ways to come out of the shell of or low self-esteem. There's so many ways, but it has to start with you are willing to start. I mean, you have to reach out to your higher power, and you have to listen to some of the things that I'm going to read to you now. Underage substance abuse and low self-esteem. Children with low self-esteem are far more likely to abuse alcohol and drugs. They will be more likely to bow to peer pressure with their friends, start to experiment with these substances. They will also find the idea of escaping reality more appealing because it means getting away from who they really are. Those individuals who use alcohol and drugs at a young age will have a far greater risk of developing an addiction later on. These are things to increase. Write these down. Increase your low self-esteem if you have low self-esteem. These are some of the things that people can do to improve their self-esteem. It can help if people become more aware of one's inner thoughts. Control your thoughts. Mental chatter is often the real source of the problem. That's one of my biggest, I don't have low self-esteem, but when my mind starts thinking about a certain issue and I concentrate on it, it's amazing what the mind can do to you, and I've become better at that now. Practices such as mindfulness, meditation can allow people to see what's going on with their thinking patterns. Once the problem is identified, it becomes much easier to deal with. Loving kindness mediation is also another great way to increase self-esteem. It is vital that people learn to challenge their faulty thinking. For example, if they decide that another person does not like them, they need to objectively examine the evidence for this. Why do you feel that this person doesn't like you? Give me some examples of what makes you feel that. Unless the individual has the ability to read minds, it is impossible to know what the other person is thinking. It does not make sense to always assume that the other people is thinking the worst of you. Helping other people is a wonderful way to build self-esteem, and we talk about this all the time. I talk about the analogy that when you do good, you get good. Karma, what goes around comes around. And the analogy that I like to use is that we come to this world with nothing and we leave with nothing. So while you go through life, while you hit which we're going to talk about, every chapter in your book of life, why not share anything that you might have that's extra? Because when you help your neighbor with a loaf of bread, you will increase your self-esteem. When you help someone down the road who cannot drive for whatever reason and you give them a ride, you will build your self-esteem. The analogy here is to help other people will help you. Kind of, when I do these videos, I don't merely do them just for you. I happen to be very selfish because when I help you with these videos, I help me daily with these videos. That is the analogy here. Helping other people is a wonderful way to build self-esteem. It makes the person feel useful, and it also means that they are spending less time judging themselves. It is possible for people to replace their negative thinking patterns with more positive ways of dealing with the world. They can do this by using gratitude journal or deliberately focusing on the things that are positive in their life. People need to question any should statements that arise in their mind. This is usually just means of making themselves feel guilty about the things that they are not doing. When you have those thoughts of I should have, I could have, just think about I did this, and I did this, and I helped this person, and I did this good. Concentrate on the positive when you let sunshine into your heart and your home. Remember, I always tell you get positive results. Learning to accept other people as a fallible makes it easier for the individual to accept their own limitations. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is perfect. God didn't create us to be perfect. God did create the majority of us to be a lot better. And that's why we as humans daily need to reach out to Him and try to become better each and every day. It doesn't happen overnight. It goes back to what I always say when we talk about the chapters in the book of life. Your chapters start at birth and your chapters end when God finally takes you off this earth. My chapter started in 1961. I'm now at chapter 52. Going to be 53 this month. On Halloween is my birthday. So my 53rd chapter will be starting to be written by me on October 31st, 2014. From 1961 all the way to 1979, my parents, as role models, were there to help me write my first 17, 18 chapters of my book of life. You as parents, grandparents, or legal guardians need to help your children or your grandchildren write their chapters in their book of life between 0, birth, and 17, 18, when they are ready to go to college or whatever they might do. You need to set an example as the role model. Because remember, it all starts with you in your home. You create the environment that your children need to adhere to. As a role model, you should never ever smoke in your home. You should never ever drink in front of your children in your home. You should never ever use profanity in your home. And you should never ever anywhere use physical violence. Those are 4 things that you should never do. And if you stick to those 4 things and you never do them, my cat must be around, and if you never do them, that is creating at least 17 to 18 great chapters in the book of life for your children and including yourself, because when you write your children's books, chapters in their books, you're creating your own as well. Those 4 things eliminated from your home will help your children go into society. It will shield your children from society. But if you do those 4 things at home, if you do smoke, drink, use profanity, and hit in your home, your children will go out into society and blend right in, because that's what society is all about. It is your job to be the role model. You are your children's hero. Monkey see, monkey do attitude. Whatever you do, they will do. God entrusted you with children. It is you to show God that you can handle being the leader that you are designated to be. Put these 4 things into your home. That will definitely help the chapters in the book of life for your children. Show love in your home. Show respect in your home. Show compassion in your home, and show passion in your home. And if you do those 4 and eliminate the other 4, this self-esteem issue is about 80% covered. Because we talked about on here some of the signs. It is the abuse, which comes to the hitting or sexual. It is the lack of attention that the children are getting. That could be the love and the compassion and the passion. It is the judgmental parents that constantly criticizes the children. Show compassion. Remember, you were a child too one time. So with all these things, you eliminate these 4 things: smoking, drinking, physical violence, and profanity, and add love, respect, compassion, and passion into your home. You will hopefully cut into a lot of this low self-esteem issues. And you will be the role model that God designated you to be. And you will prepare your children to go into society a better person. It's that simple. I am at my chapter 53 to come. What chapter are you in? And let me ask you this. If for some reason you have done these 4 consistently and constantly, why not let today, October 7, 2014, be a new chapter in your book of life? Because it's never ever too late to start fresh and start new and start changing. Are you using these 4 a lot because you have an addiction issue? And if you do have an addiction issue, whether it being drugs and or alcohol, can you finally say that you have a problem? And it's not that easy to admit, because I know I've been there. I was there 6, 7 times saying I did have a problem, but I didn't mean it. When your world comes crashing down upon you, you'll know that this is it. When you reach up to your higher power and you ask for guidance and direction, you know this is it. So why not today, October 7, 2014, start rewriting the chapters, not only in your book, but in your children's book or your grandchildren's book. Why not today, October 7, 2014, stop with the drinking and the smoking and the hitting and the profanity in your home? Better yet, why not today, October 7, 2014, stop it at all? Become the leader that you are designated to be, the role model. If your children look at you as a hero, show them that you deserve that title. Show them. Start rewriting your chapters in your book of life. It doesn't matter what your past was like. It doesn't. If you're willing to today change, admit you have a problem, and reach to God, everything before then is immaterial. Just like when I coach in addiction, I don't care. Not that I don't care. I don't talk about what happened before. I concentrate on today and tomorrow. That is what you need to do. If you're ready to admit today, October 7th, 2014, and you want to start rewriting new chapters in your book of life, here are some methods on how to do that. Step number 1 is to finally stop denying that you have a problem. And when you do that and you sincerely mean it, step number 2 is to reach up to your higher power. Tell God that you obviously cannot control your own life, because you wouldn't be in this predicament if you could. Ask God for guidance and direction, and He will lead you. Remember, you can have God without addiction, but you cannot fight addiction without God. So once you have those 2 steps, stop denying is step number 1, and reach out to God is number 2. Then let's come up with a method of working with your addiction, depending on what stage of an addiction you have. Usually I go to this one to last, but if you are so bad off and you feel that you cannot be trusted at home alone, because you might drink or smoke or do crack or whatever, go to a treatment center. They have the 30, 60, 90-day programs. Most of them take insurances and Medicaid. And if you don't have either, go on the website, the state website. Hopefully there's something in your state that for financially challenged people that can help you. If not, text me at 631-599-0218, and I will try to help locate something for you within your area. I have contacts that I am in contact with that I can go through, and hopefully together as a team, you and me, we can find something for you. But remember this: when you are completed with your treatment, when you come out, 2 things you cannot do. You cannot fall back into your old habits, and you cannot let your guard down, because your addiction will stick with you for the rest of your life. I humbly sit here right now letting you know that I still have an addiction. The difference is I have learned to fight and live and work with it. And that's what you need to do. You need to keep educating yourself. So you're done with the treatment center, or you checked into the treatment center. But you're not as bad off to even go into a treatment center. You can go to AA. They have the 12-step program. They have the do 90 meetings in the first 90 days. They have the classroom atmosphere. They have the textbook structured program. You can try that. You can use my methods. My methods are very simple. I have 16 alternative steps to the 12 steps, but mine are not structured where you have to take a certain step at a certain time. You can take whatever step you want. My methods are so simple. I educate myself. I do these videos to educate you, to educate me again. I walk the streets of where I used to be a drunk, to interview people, to get real stories from real people. These are the real people out there, and they do have real stories. And if you notice, I never edit anything. I don't condone the language, but I will not take it out unless it's too graphic. Then I won't even put the interview on the air. Because if I start editing other people's stories, then they are not real stories from real people. These are my methods, and I will tell you they work. There are millions of people out there that have lived and survived and are living right now without going to AA. And I'm not judging AA. I am telling you that I did try AA, and for me, it was not good enough to just sit an hour in a classroom atmosphere and talk about stories. I needed to be more actively involved, and that's my whole life has been like that. And I'm not talking about an addiction. I'm talking about my whole life is always I need to be actively involved. Use this analogy. You only get better at a certain job by actively, physically doing that job, not reading out of a book. That is the analogy I will use. By me physically and actively daily doing what I do, whether it's videos, interviews, my websites, my coaching, that is on-the-job training. That is my job training to be a successful survivor of addiction. That is my job training to daily live with my addiction. And as I do that job, I include God into it, which makes me a better whole person in combination of my educating myself daily with addiction issues and God being involved in each and every step of that. It makes me a better person, and it will make you a better person. My methods compared to AA are like oil and vinegar. Not to say AA doesn't work, because it does work for millions. It just does not work for me, and you might find it doesn't work for you, but you might also find that my methods do not work for you. You can jump from method to method. You can do all three. You can do other methods that are out there. But no matter what you do, folks, one thing has to be included, and that is your almighty power Almighty God has to be included no matter what you do. So when you're ready to deal with the fact that you want to finally give up your drinking and the denial has stopped, it is then and only then that your road to recovery will start, and it will have to include God. And that's when you, honestly, will take your life back. And let me help you take your life back. You can call me at 844-405-HELP. You can text me at 631-599-0218. You can email me at clearreform@yahoo.com. Go to my websites, www.clearviews.info and www.clearreform.com. Both of my websites start with the word clear. The word clear was made up by me, not the word itself, but the meaning, what I'm going to tell you now, a month after I hit rock bottom. I just thought, because I started feeling clear, I thought to myself, what can I come up with to work with the word clear? Because I felt clear here and here. So I said, okay. So I sat there, and this only took me one day. Community, C is for community, L is for lessons, E is for empower, A is for addiction, and R is for recovery. Community lessons empower addiction recovery. Our lessons as a community, wherever you might be, where I'm here in the Hamptons, Long Island, wherever you might be watching me. Not here just in this country, but in a global sense. Wherever you are is a community, and there are lessons within that community of alcohol and drug addicted people. Those lessons will empower all of us in our addiction recovery, whether it be alcohol and or drugs. Community lessons empower addiction recovery. Clearviews.info, clearreform.com. Let's touch base on addiction and low self-esteem one more time. What is self-esteem? What is the definition? Self-esteem is a term used by psychologically to describe how humans think of themselves or judge themselves overall in relation to self-worth. It can be described as confidence and satisfaction that the individual has with his own life. The terms self-esteem and self-worth tend to be used interchangeably, although feelings of self-esteem tend to be more fluid than self-worth. What are some of the causes of low self-esteem? People who have suffered any type of child abuse, whether it being physically or sexually or verbally. Parents fail to make their children feel valued. That will cause low self-esteem. Receiving too much criticism will also bring down self-esteem. That's where those role leadership that I told you about. You need to love, respect, passion, and compassion in your household. And the other one about the physical abuse, the smoking, and the profanity, that needs to stop too. The way people treat each other, peers in school, that will bring down that will affect the self-esteem. Being the victim of racism, folks, we got to stop this with the racism. I thought it was way behind us, but it seems like it's kind of coming back a little bit. We have an Afro-American president, and that says it all right there, that we are all created equally by God. Color doesn't matter, race doesn't matter, nationality shouldn't matter, or it doesn't matter, it shouldn't. All of these shouldn't matter. Sometimes it does matter to some people. The Archie Bunker days are over, folks. When people feel that they do not really fit in anywhere, it will change the way they feel about themselves. You ever walk into a party and you look around and people start looking at you? That will bring you down, right? The effects of low self-esteem. Failure to value one leads to failure to take care of oneself. You have to be mentally and physically fit constantly. If you are overweight, I understand. Believe me, I am about 16 pounds overweight myself. Does not mean that I am any less valuable to me or to others. What it does mean is that I have to watch what I eat. I love my candy and my cake. I used to love my alcohol. That's one of the biggest things about when you give up an addiction, or when you give up a certain thing that you were addicted to. You find an alternative. The difference between the candy and the cake compared to the alcohol is just that I am clear-minded, clear-headed, and my heart is very clear. And I will tell you this. It is okay to eat some junk food. So if you have low self-esteem because you are a little overweight, don't be. Don't be. Individuals with low self-esteem are far more likely to turn to alcohol and drugs because they feel that they can get away from the situation. When they use the drugs and alcohol, they don't even think about what people think about them at that point. It can be hard for such individuals to trust other people. People with low self-esteem because every time they trust, they get hurt because the other people let them down. These individuals will be highly insecure in relationships. What are symptoms of low self-esteem? Individuals live in fear of change and uncertainty. They will tend to assume that other people think badly of them. People with low self-esteem tend to see anything and everything in black and white. There is no in between. Everything is either right or wrong. Such individuals are always putting themselves down. A bit humorous way too. You know, look at my weight. I look like the Pillsbury boy. That is a sign. When people have low self-esteem, they will tend to always be suspicious of other people's motives. High expectations of other people followed by disappointment when these individuals seem to let them down is one of the reasons. Low self-esteem leads to jealousy in relationships. People in this category may achieve something but will still not be satisfied. They will find it hard to deal with compliments and will doubt the sincerity of those who offer the compliment. These individuals will often be too needy, and this can put too much pressure on their relationship. How do we increase our self-esteem? It can help if people become more aware of one's inner thoughts. Those mental games is what kills our esteem constantly. We always think of the worst. It is vital that people learn to challenge their faulty thinking. Tell the devil out in your mind to get out. You know, you ever see the angel on one shoulder and the devil is whispering to this ear and the angel into this ear, and it's somewhere stuck in here. Wing him off, the devil off your shoulder. Helping other people is the best way. I'm telling you, it works. It works. A little bit here and there is all you have to do. I'm not saying dedicate your whole life to helping people, although that would be perfect. Just a little bit will improve your self-esteem. It is possible for people to replace their negative thinking patterns with more positive ways to dealing with the world. They can do this by using gratitude journal or deliberately focusing on the positive things in life. Let the sunshine into your heart and into your home, and I guarantee you will get nothing but positive results. Eliminate the darkness and the negative. When you do that, you will get better results, folks. You will get better results. Learning to accept other people as a fallible makes it easier for individuals to accept their own limitations. If you learn to accept other people's faults, you will not set your own standards too high. Learn to accept other people's faults. Because remember, nobody is perfect. God created you in as close as perfect form that you can be at birth. Then you, as a human, in conjunction with your parents, the first 17, 18 years, molded yourself to whatever you were then. And then you, from that point on, started writing your own chapters in your book of life. If those chapters weren't out of control like they did for me, then that's when you need to hit rock bottom and you need to reach out to God and start changing your ways. Remember, when you drink and you do drugs, your self-esteem is not getting any better. It's just being clouded by the drugs and alcohol. The only way to get your self-esteem back is to do some of these things. Start learning to help people. Folks, tonight when you go to bed, instead of pushing your slippers at the edge of your bed or your sneakers at the edge of the bed before you climb into bed, push them under your bed. That way, tomorrow morning when you get up and you have to get those slippers, sneakers, or shoes, you will go on your knees to go and get them. And while you're on your knees, remember to thank God for another day on this earth. For every breath that you take right now, there's someone that's not taking a breath at all anymore. They just took their last breath. For every time you blink your eyes, there's somebody that just closed their eyes for the last time. So why not praise God and thank Him daily for another day on this beautiful earth? And start sharing whatever you might have. The analogy is that you came to this earth with nothing, and that's how you're leaving. So if you think that all this world possessions that you have is going to come with you, you are wrong. So why not start sharing some of that? When you die and your coffin is put into a hearse, do not think that your personal possessions will be loaded into a U-Haul and that U-Haul will be behind that hearse. That hearse will go alone to your resting place with your family, of course being sad and all that, but you will go to your resting place alone. You came to this earth alone, and you're going to leave this earth alone. So whatever world possessions you have, start sharing them today. And those possessions that you might find that are just sitting at home is somebody else's treasure, and that will bring up your self-esteem when you help other people. When you buy a loaf of bread and that loaf of bread sits around your house for a whole week, and at the end of the week you only ate half a loaf, so you threw out the other half a loaf, and you have a neighbor that you know is financially strapped or challenged, why not take a half a loaf of that bread and bring it fresh to that neighbor? Because remember, a half a loaf of bread to someone is better than no bread at all. If you have a few extra dollars, why not buy some groceries for your neighbor or your family member, or even give some money? When you help other people, it will guarantee to bring your self-esteem up, and will guarantee to come back in twofold for you. So with all this said, if today, October 7th, is your new chapter you want to start writing, do it in those two ways that I said. Stop denying that you have an issue. Admit the facts that you have an alcohol and or drug issue, and then accept God to help you with guidance and direction. When you do those things, not everything will be perfect the first couple of days. Things will be tough for you. You will crave, and you might have the jitters and the shakes. But after about a week or two, things will fall into place and become better. Then after a couple months, they start looking even better. After a year, they look even better, etc. You get the fee. Your life will come together in a whole again. And people will notice the differences in you. They will notice how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you treat other people, and how you look. Is any drug or any alcohol worth losing your family? Is any alcohol, any drug worth dying for? Because if it is worth for you to die for it, you are selfish, because when you die, you're taken away from other people. Whether it's financially you're taken away because you're the breadwinner, or it's emotional because those people depended on you and loved you. No matter what, it is a selfish act to keep drinking and doing drugs knowing that it's possibly going to kill you. It is a selfish act. And shame on you for being selfish. So forget about what happened yesterday. Start today. It's a new day. It's a new day. Start today. And remember, a sober today will guarantee to give you a better tomorrow. And when I explain things, if you believe it's clear in here, if you believe it all in here, it will become clear there. Remember, community lessons empower addiction recovery. It will become clear. Your lessons will empower addiction recovery. Your lessons include blackouts. Your lessons include DWIs. Your lessons include possibly relationship breakups, financial destruction. Those are your community lessons, but they will empower addiction recovery, because those are things that you've gone through and you know you can change them. But the only way to change them is to today start admitting you have a problem and go to your higher power. That's the only ways. Let the sunshine into your heart and into your home, and you will get nothing but positive results. Eliminate the darkness. The negativity will bring you down, and it's like cancer. It will absorb you. Eliminate it. Avoid negative people as much as you can, especially in the beginning of your recovery. You need to focus on you and you alone, and you need to focus on anything that's positive. And you can always text me at 631-599-0218. You can call me at 844-405-HELP, and it can be merely just to talk. We'll just chat. We'll talk about your present situation and your future situation. We will just chat. I will tell you what I went through. My website, www.clearviews.info, tells you what I've gone through. I tell you what I've gone through on my today 150th videotape. 150 videotape, average an hour a piece or more, or sometimes a little less. That is a lot of testimony. That is a huge amount of testimony. And I am not ashamed to tell you I have an addiction to alcohol. But just as much as I'm not ashamed to tell you that, I am happy to tell you I've learned to live with it. And so can you. I hope everybody has a great today, which is Tuesday, October 7th, 2014, and I hope to God that God keeps us all around for tomorrow's video. But in the meantime, try to have a sober day, and God bless you. Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today is September 4th. It's about 3:30 in the morning. I just want to share with everyone something this morning. I saw a demonstration maybe about a month ago in reference to our dark side and the power of prayer. If you continuously pray over and over and over again, things will eventually become clear. Although that a lot of times when we pray to God, we don't get answers right away. But if you continuously pray over and over, things become clear. So the demonstration involves this bottle, and if you see, the inside of this bottle is all dark liquid. That represents our dark side. And this cap represents our limitations. So we as a human, which is the bottle, have limitations, which is this cap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bottle into the sink, and we're going to do a demonstration. So let me put that there. I'm going to turn the camera around so that everybody can see it. And hopefully you folks can all see it now. Okay, so you see the bottle. I'm going to turn the water on. Okay, so now everything inside is dark, which represents our body and our inside. And what I'm going to do, and this clear water represents our prayer. So you see the continuous water running. I'm going to now, as the prayer, as we're praying, I'm going to lift our limitations, which is the cap. And we're going to slowly add our prayer to this. We all go through dark times. I mean, I've had some dark years. I just didn't understand everything that was happening. I'm going to admit it that I'm not a super patient person. I tend to want answers right away and know what's happening and when what I can do to solve it. I don't like not being happy and confident about things. It's just not who I am. But when I get down, it takes a lot for me to get back up. If we pray for a sign, which is this, the water is prayer, but just give up because we feel like God's already heard our prayer and He knows what we need, but He hasn't answered. It's kind of like when we were kids in the toy store and we kept asking our mom and dad for toys, but we never got any results. Yeah, it never worked for me either, but you get what I mean. Anyway, that is exactly what's happened to me in the past years. I have prayed and prayed and prayed, but haven't really gotten any results. The answer I thought God would give me, and especially in the time of frame, I thought my problems would be fixed, which was all before 2013. Then, in 2013, my cap of limitations was lifted. This is the cap, remember this now, was lifted off the bottle, which is my body. Here is where I will just show you how that worked for me. So basically we all have dark sides, which is what's in the bottle, was in the bottle. We are facing, and we take the limitations off our mind, which was the cap I lifted. Don't limit what He can do, because we have to just trust in the Lord. That sometimes even after we pray and we just give up, and it is often why we get defeated. However, even though nothing has really changed, we just keep praying. That's the prayer, the sign of the prayer, the flowing Lord. Just keep praying and never ever give up praying. And if we do that and devote ourselves completely to the Lord, He will pull us through. The dark times will go away, and we just have to be patient. I know it's hard. Being patient truly is a virtue. But by never ever giving up on prayer, it's going to show you that God will eventually answer all your prayer. And the more we pray, which is this water going into the bottle, one day everything will become clear. You see how clear this is now? That is the power of prayer. Folks, I think that demonstration says it all. If we had a bottle which represents our body, and the bottle, everything was dark on the inside, and the water coming out of the faucet represents the prayer, day after day after day, just keeps adding to the darkness which was in the bottle. Eventually all that prayer has to turn what was dark inside this bottle, which is our body, has to change and become as clear as this water in here. That, folks, is the power of prayer. Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs, and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Folks, if somebody had to paint a picture of your image, what would it look like? Good morning. Welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today's feature presentation is how to come back after a relapse. So grab your popcorn, grab your soda.
Created using Powtoon.